Today, we're attempting to turn these paper clips into a razor-sharp Damascus sword designed to actually slice. So I bought every paper clip in this store, but what the workers don't know is I'll be back to return these paper clips after transforming them into an incredible sword.
Turned them into a sword.
Okay.
And I don't want them anymore.
Step one, weld together this tube so that we can slam fill it with paper clips. In the chamber. So after we seal this bad boy with all the paper clips, we're gonna heat it to 2,000 degrees, stick it under this thing, and then stretch it out to be the shape of a sword.
However, this has only been attempted by one other human, and he used a steel core for strength with paper clips only on the outside. But we are using 100% paperclip Damascus. This ended up being one of the most difficult swords we have ever made, with so many unexpected challenges and hilarious moments.
That actually works way too good.
But by the end of this video, I promise you this will be a sword. Final paperclip for good luck.
Next, fill it with steel powder to create the base for our beautiful sword texture.
Blacksmith Depot. Pretty. I want to eat it. 1095 sugar in my coffee. I need to get my carbon steel powdered sugar scoop device.
Got the scoop?
Point.
Arigato.
Coffee with that. Wait, hey, what are you doing?
I'm making a sword with that. Special fairy magic dust.
That's gonna take a lot of scoops.
Yeah, it'll be okay. What else are we gonna do? That's so satisfying, watch it. So tempted to just put one of these scoops in my mouth. Cinnamon challenge? Nah, tetanus challenge. Oh yeah.
So we're trying to vibrate all the powder down into the shoe because if there's any oxygen, it's gonna split and shatter as soon as we try to forge it.
And I know from experience, because the last time I skipped this step, my sword looked like this when it's supposed to look like this. If there is any oxygen inside this cylinder, the metal won't actually fuse together and it's just gonna crumble. So this is a really important step.
The next time we see this powder, it's gonna be a solid bar of metal. This seems way too easy, as if we're doing something wrong.
And I have to set up our 2,000 degree forge.
Is it safe for me to be doing propane while Kelly's actively welding? Probably not, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
The power went out right as I finished. Look at that.
On the line.
Weld this stick on it so that it's easier in the forge. What's wrong? This is a bad idea. It's just melting off. That was a complete failure. We're gonna see if we can use a sword as a handle. I think this will hold pretty good. That looks so stupid. Today we're turning a can of beans into a sword. Step 3, stick them in your 2,500 degree oven. That is sparkling.
This might actually work.
That felt really good. That looks good.
That looked great. I think our goal is to turn that into a square because I have never seen anybody do it with a circle.
So we're gonna forge it into a square because we're real blacksmiths. Squish session number 2.
We're gonna let that heat up a little bit.
I'll try again. Ready?
Yeah, that's tough.
I'm amazed it's still attached. Try again. I got some chamoy burst in my mouth. Hopefully this thing don't chamoy burst.
That thing's looking square. We just gotta keep smashing it until it's the shape of our sword.
I know, it looks longer than it was.
It really does. That's a diamond. That's not a square.
How do we fix the crooked square?
See, I have an idea. Hang on. Observe my genius.
Is that hot?
That's kind of hot. Boom. And then you just put it in there. You boop. Ah! Got it. Get it in there. Will this work? It might. It might.
It looks like it's working.
Heyo.
Is it less cattywampus?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, we can do another sesh.
We're gonna try the 10-pound hammer teamwork technique to see if we can squish this thing out any faster.
Golly, it's a big brick. Straight up solid blob of rock.
I'm a 40-ton hydraulic press is what I am. I wouldn't say that was any faster than the press.
Except 60 more calories burned. Oh no! The front of it looks like a marshmallow.
Oh, I see a paper clip.
Back in the forge. Back in the forge. Back in the forge. 10 tons on that. Paper clips are strong. It's getting like nothing's happening.
Yeah, it's getting harder to press.
We're compressing it and nothing's compressing.
It's day 2 and we have a problem.
Right now, every time we press our paper clips, it's spreading them in every direction and we don't really want that. We want it to spread only long ways. But what I'm gonna do is make an attachment that pinches the metal, right? And I couldn't find it on the internet because I didn't know what it was called, so I'm just gonna build it myself. That didn't last long. Again, the candy cane extension cord into the welder. Unreliable. Nice welds. You see that gap? I don't want that gap. I'm gonna hydraulic press it down and then weld it shut. Hopefully that doesn't break anything. Oh yeah, weld that bad boy shut. Hot. Oh man, these were brand new this morning. This thing right here used to be a bolt and a crowbar, and it's really hot. And now it is the head that's gonna go on our 40-ton hydraulic press and make things so much faster. This is so hot, I'm gonna put it down.
Yeah, that looks absolutely incredible. Let's start smashing.
Problem, our forge is too powerful and sucks up too much propane, so these bad boys freeze for some reason because of chemistry. And chemistry tells me if I shake it, it fixes it. You hear that thing? This used to be a 3-inch cylinder, and now it's a 10-inch banana.
And after a few more steps, this will be the #1 paperclip sword of all time.
A 1095 turd.
Okay, if the inside looks like it does here on the outside, our paperclips and powder did not actually fuse together, and this sword is going to crumble and we'll have to try again. Remember, the inside of a good sword looks like this.
I am going to slice the end off here, so that might kind of reveal whether or not our forge weld was successful. It looks like it might have worked. I think as we get deeper, those pockets and holes are going to disappear. So I'm gonna weld our stick back on. Now we can get this thing back in the forge. That actually works way too good. That's one hot log.
There is a critical step that we forgot to do on day 1, and that was adding flux. We're supposed to sprinkle this stuff on the very first time that we put our paperclip sword in the forge, but we forgot to do that, so I'm gonna do it today on day 3. We basically made just add water pancakes, but we didn't add water. We added water after cooking them, so we'll see if it works. That looks like Breaking Bad, man. I kinda wanna eat it. It looks like Kampai candy.
It's like a steak. Look at that. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I'm looking at it. This is not working.
After 42 seconds of research, we should have definitely used flux in the beginning of forging this. Something crazy just happened. You better be on the edge of your seat. The tip of our sword has fallen off. You see that? Hopefully this doesn't represent the rest of the sword, otherwise we are in trouble. Thinking this is just the cap that squished down. This is what's left of it. The fact that this is what we started with, and this is where we are, is insane. Gives me a little bit of hope, but we won't know for sure if this actually worked until we grind off the outer layer and reveal the paperclip Damascus inside. This thing grows every time I see it. Once we're done turning this into a sword, we're gonna see if we can actually return it. I don't think they're gonna believe that we actually turned these paperclips into a sword. Before we can return it, we have to actually slice with it. So hopefully it doesn't break. I think there's a very large chance it breaks because we used flux 3 days late.
Better never than late. I'm just waiting for this to just... Let's get forging!
Oh no! Critical mistake! Let's not get forging. I'm glad I noticed this before I turned the forge on. You see, here's the tubular device that carries lots of propane to this propane expansion device. And smash that thing. If I would have turned them bad boys on and lit that, we would have had a homemade flamethrower just... Well, I guess that would have taken care of the snow problem. But now we got another problem. We don't have a forge. I'm gonna see if I can call Tyler, see if he can find a hose on his way here.
It's tube time. Ooh, maybe I could get a flower while I'm here.
So this is what we started with, right? This outer shell is still on all of our paper clips, and we don't want that. We want 100% pure paper clips. So I'm gonna grind it off. And it's gonna take an excruciating long time.
So I'm trying to rescue Kelly. It only took 4 stores, but I found one.
Got a new hose. Does it fit? I don't know. We're gonna make it fit.
Propane hose technician. How do we check for leaks? We don't. Oh, you know what I just realized? It's below freezing, and these tanks have been out here. They freeze themselves even when it's hot outside. Are they gonna be frozen before we even get started? And I need a new wrench that's not from Walmart! Piece of junk! Oh, I need that.
Hey, buddy. Easy one more time.
Prepare yourselves. We got a forge!
While Kelly forges, I have a plan to build the handle. So let me show you our interesting design. This will be the blade, and I'm using this cutting board to build a handle around the entire blade, kinda like so. Then we're gonna drop a mekugi right there. I mean, if that's not a perfect engineering diagram, I don't know what is. I forgot to record me doing all these cuts, so I'm gonna reenact it. Next up, tiny saw with the battery that Kelly caught on fire. Handle. It's kind of small, but I think it'll work. I'm gonna go ahead and start rounding it out now. I definitely picked the easy job here. This handle is gonna be useless if Kelly can't forge that sword, so hopefully he's doing well.
This is the current status of our paperclip sword. Does it work as a sword? Sure does. I'm going to be finalizing the shape of our sword, grinding it down, and then polishing it, and then attach the handle. What is going to be maybe the next 80 seconds for you will be the next 8 hours for me. We got a tip on there, it's nice and straight. Now I'm just gonna stretch out our tang, see if we can get it a little longer. Almost done shaping the sword. I'm gonna add a slight curve to it by pressing down on the spine. It's gonna make it curve upwards. So I'm gonna do that right now. That might be too much curve. Yeah, just a slight curve to it. I finally got the shape forged out. Now I can grind it down, then polish it and acid etch it so we can finally see the paperclip Damascus. Let's get grinding. Look at that itty bitty sword.
This is actually gonna be really hard to make this look decent. It's expert level woodworking. I'm glad I'm not making a blade right now. I'm gonna see what happens when you hydraulic press a paperclip into the wood. Absolutely ruined. Take two. I'd say that's cool. That's a lot of pressure. You gotta be gentle with it.
I'm used to squishing steel.
I'm gonna try it on my handle that I just made and hopefully not ruin it. Before we press paper clips into the real handle, I'm gonna polish it. The shininess, I don't like it. I'm gonna remove it. All right, I have one more strategy to make this thing shine. Whoa, that thing goes fast. Press time.
I finally got this down to 180 grit, and we're going all the way to 2000, but it already looks insane, especially in the light. I can literally see the Damascus, which is surprising because it's not even acid etched yet. So hopefully the acid etch brings it out even more, because we did zero research on whether or not this is the right steel for acid etching, and I am incredibly excited. Let's get to 2000 grit. That hurt.
You've been out here all day. It looks a little sharper than it used to. Gosh, this thing's lightweight. This thing feels like a paperclip. I cannot believe we actually made a sword out of paperclips. This is gonna be so cool.
I just came up with a last minute idea. I'm gonna turn this metal rod into a giant paperclip, and we're gonna have a giant paperclip as our Tsuba. There's our first fold. Now it's time for bend number 2. Oh, daddy.
Just one more bend to go. Heat up more area so that we get a bigger bend. That's too big. I'll just finish it up because I'm already there. Oh no, it doesn't even fit. I'm gonna be honest, that is way too big and looks very silly. So I'm just not gonna do it. Psych, I'm just gonna make another one that's smaller. I'm gonna polish this thing up, then we're gonna attach it to our sword, and after, we're gonna acid etch it to see if we can actually see the paper clips. That looks so cool! And then we're gonna return it. I'm just gonna straight up weld it on. So check the fitment. It's a little cattywampus. It's a lot of hot. Golly! Why am I so dumb? What problems are these gloves solving? So what I have learned is that it takes 3 pairs of brand new gloves to forge a paperclip sword. Weld the rest on and hopefully it goes as good as it can go. What you think? Gosh, that is so crooked. Oh, it's so hot. Stupid gloves.
Got that tacked down. Butter up those welds so this thing it will never fall off ever. Well, hot dang. It could fall off a Humpty Dumpty's wall a million times. It will never need to be put back together. Now that it's attached, I'm going to give everything one last final polish. Then I'm gonna go inside and acid etch this thing, which is hopefully going to reveal our paperclip Damascus. How to acid etch Damascus? Yeah. How you spell it? Ferric chloride. We don't have baking soda either. We're so unprepared for this.
Wait, we should have baking soda.
Our baking soda. Prepare the ferric chloride. Well-ventilated area. Done. Mix ferric chloride with distilled water in a 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 ratio.
Golly, that looks like acid.
Dookie water.
Who put root beer in my soup?
This is our last look at our bare, unetched sword.
The moment of truth. Will we be able to see our paperclip Damascus? And there's not enough soup.
It's actually starting to get waves. Look close.
That looks so cool.
This is Paperclips.
Dude, I'm legitimately way too excited.
Like minute by minute, I can tell that it's changing.
This looks so cool. Wow.
Look at that.
If you want to make cool Damascus, paperclips and 1080 steel.
I'm gonna start on the handle, get this thing done. Tyler's hard work and dedication getting sliced into two.
Well, that's not very straight, but hopefully it works. Got that thing split, not exactly down the middle.
Got wood, sword, wood, wood. Get that epoxied and glued shut. Let's get this thing done. Clamp it down now. Our glue is done drying. This thing is so lightweight. As you can see, it's all gross and rough. We don't want that. So we're gonna sand this down, reshape it, and also let's add a mekugi. This is a little scary because I am about to drill through all of our hard work. We finally got our mekugi in, and I can finally start sanding down Tyler's hard work. Comment down below what other office supplies you think I'm going to add to the handles. We are about to wrap our handle in rubber bands. That was my first attempt, and this was my second attempt, so I'm gonna go back and redo this because this looks so much prettier. I cannot believe how good this thing turned out. Honestly, it turned out way better than I thought it would. It's so lightweight. Middle school art project. This is hilarious. This is the grippiest item that I've ever held. The paperclip Tsuba, so goofy. I cannot believe how well this thing turned out. Now, before we return our paperclip Damascus sword, we're gonna see if it actually slices. Oh! See if we can do it again. That's way sharper than a paperclip.
But can it slice through a tatami mat? Let's find out. Now, before we test the paperclip katana, this is what it looks like when a normal katana slices.
Now let's finally see if our Damascus paperclip sword can actually slice. Honestly, there's a huge chance that this splits in half.
But if it doesn't shatter, we're gonna give our paperclip sword away to one of you guys if this video gets 100,000 likes.
Here we go.
What?
Easy!
Like the mat wasn't even there.
That used to be paperclips.
Let's see if we can still slice paper. Now that we know that this actually slices, let's see if we can return it to the store.
We got the receipt. We are ready. Real talk. What are they gonna say?
I don't know, I'm actually terrified. I hope they don't actually keep the sword.
I know, right? That'd be a bummer.
Hello, I have a return. So these were paper clips, but I turned them into a sword.
Okay.
And I don't want them anymore.
I have to ask my boss about that.
Okay.
So without the original box and the original receipt, I can't do a return.
Okay.
Lady did not like our paperclip sword, but if you liked this video, YouTube also thinks you're gonna like this one, and it's honestly a great video. I've seen it too, and I highly recommend you watch it. And if you wanna win this sword for yourself, check out the link in the video description. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I love you. Goodbye, and subscribe.